Was Real Madrid robbed? Many of you guys saw the interview or the press conference, better yet, with Florentino Perez. And I just want to say a couple things as a Madrista. For me personally, all right, when you're representing a club, whether you are a player or a member of staff or the coach or even the president, it's a different position than being a fan, right? So, as a member of staff or member of the club, your position on where you speak about the club in public is kind of different from a fan perspective. Main reason you can being a member of staff, you do see what's when the whistle is blown, you get to see what's behind closed doors. As fans, we don't really get to see that. So when we say certain things as fans, there's certain leeway we get that I don't think players should get, right? So if, for example, let's start with the basics. If we as fans say the referee is corrupt or La Liga is corrupt or Champions League is, favoring to one side or whatever, it comes even if that fan has like a massive following, it still does not has that credibility or that weight of a player saying it. So, for example, if Mark Goldbridge said that, you know, Manchester United has not been honest with his finances over the past 5 years. Mark Goldbridge has 2 million, over 2 million followers, or 4 million, or whatever. So what he says as a fan, because he is still a fan of the club, it doesn't carry the weight or has the consequences of if you know Dillit said something or Tom Heaton said something, even though he's not playing. Like even guys who or even the member of staff, like they know they are objectively known to know what's behind closed doors. So even if Mark Goldbridge is right or wrong, it doesn't carry the same wavelength as if Miss Chin from the staff said if it's corrupted or the finances have not been transparent. Like she may have some more leeway, may have more, you know, like she can see what's going on in the club. So when you see the president talk about the club, to some degree, given that information, that you have to understand that your words carry a different magnitude versus if managing Madrid said it, right? He said that they were robbed. Now, the issue with that, right? When you a fan saying we were robbed is different than a club president saying we were robbed, because we are on as fans we are under the understanding that you know more or something that we don't know always. Players, members of staff, presidents, coaches, members of, yeah, you guys will know things that we as fans don't know. So your word doesn't have the same consequences and weight as fans, if that makes sense. So if Florentina Perez said we were up, like, okay, what do you know that we don't know? As a fan, was Real Madrid robbed? Yes, couple times in La Liga. Let's specify La Liga. Yes, we were robbed. Also, did some favors went in our way? Yes. But does that equal out the you know being robbed? Yes. So if my job pays me more than I should have gotten, but they take out money that they shouldn't have in a different month, it doesn't work like that. Address each situation should be addressed individually, right? However, I think the ethical thing for Perez to do, because he said a lot of things that need to be addressed, is say, hey, some decisions went against us, and some decisions went for us. However, if all things were fair and square, we will be ahead of Barcelona in the league. That's a better statement than just saying we were robbed. That's a better statement than just saying we were robbed, right? Because if you're gonna say that we were unfairly treated to 12 points deducted, so meaning that if the decisions went fair, we would have 12 points in the league. Let's just say, for example, but we should have 12 more points, but we took 5 points that we shouldn't have taken. A draw and two wins, right? We shouldn't have won two games. We shouldn't have drawn that game. We should have lost that game. We should have lost that. Yeah. So even if you equal it, even if you want to equal it out, even again address differently, but even so, saying it like that, you cannot put yourself in a better light. Say, hey, they took 12 points from us. We took 5 points from them. To just say you're robbed is not. You cannot make it the calls that went your way. You cannot act like it didn't happen, and as you don't want to do that. You don't actually want to do that. You want to put yourself in a place where you say, "Hey, I'm aware of the situation that's going on, but being the president of the club, this is a situation, and this is where I stand." You can't be blinded to the calls that went in our favor. There's a lot of calls that went in our favor. A lot. However, that does not interfere and equal out the calls that went against us. Two different things. But address each one individually, but both needs to be mentioned. I've done wrong, wrong have done me. Two different wrongs, but not to say that wrong that I have done doesn't exist. It does exist. While it exists, I have been wrong. That's a better statement. And then he also mentioned that um, he sees fights. He said that the media, the league, the leagues happen that we shouldn't happen. That's nothing new. It's happened in 2022 as well. And people are saying Isco was a leak. However, that aside, he was saying the leaks happened, the media caught up on the leaks, and then he's saying that the media take it out of proportion. He see players fight every day. Sorry, I didn't like when Ramos was here. I didn't see him get sent to the hospital, or I've never heard Ramos send anybody to the hospital. And I'm sorry if anybody's gonna send anybody to the hospital out of future money versus Ramos. Ramos is more likely to send somebody to the hospital more than future money, and the fact that didn't happen, or maybe it did. I didn't get leaked out. Who knows? But bro, all the injuries that was happen, we can say, oh, training, it's a training football related injury. Being hit in the head is not a training related injury. Being hit in the head with a brain injury or a head injury is not. Come on. So I know what I'm trying to say is that Ramos did not hit anybody. Ramos did not send anybody to the hospital. And as a captain, so let me speak about Valverde for a second as well. As a captain, right? You are acting like Vinny. I'm joking. As a captain, it seemed like the emotions got the best of Fede. It seemed like he's going through some issues at home. It seemed like he is going through a lot. And he just lost his composure. It looks like it. Because what the news that we have gotten as fans was that he was making some nasty tackles on Twitcher money and he got out of hand. Now, whether that's all there is to the story, I doubt it. I think that's a part of the story, but I think there's always more to the story. As a fan, whenever I see things in the news, I always either approach it like this is taken to the extreme, out of context, or there's more to the story. I never take anything at face value. So I think there's more to the story. But I've seen Tucha Mane in interviews, the one he did recently with the American footballer. He seemed like, again, just taking that into context, he seems so relaxed and calm. I'm just like, I just don't see him starting a fight. If it was between Fede and Vinny, I was like, yeah, I understand. And this will sound sad. I'm surprised that Vinny has not been in a physical altercation. Maybe he has, but we just don't hear about it. And then I think that Fede is wrong. I think that Fede is wrong. No, like I think Fede is wrong. But this will be the first time he's wrong. And as a fan base, I don't want to. I see a lot of people saying Fede out, Valverde out, taking him off captain. Um, and then I seen some links to Manchester United. First it was Tuchel Mane, then realized Tuchel Mane wasn't guilty. So those rumors gone, and then Fede realized Fede is guilty. So okay, no, he has to go. And can we, as a fan base, like, if I was a footballer, I'd be so discouraged to do the right thing. Because as a fan base, we tend to forget so easily, right? We tend to forget things so easily. What do you mean you want Valverde out? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you want Fede Valverde out? Fede, come on, man. It make more sense if you're supposed to leave. Is supposed to, anyone's supposed to leave? Yo, they're both hard to replace. Don't get me wrong, but Rodri, it like say for example, Rodri is for sale, and Rodri is want to move to Madrid. Rodri would replace Tuchel Mane more so than Valverde. You're not going to find a next Valverde. You're not going to find another Tuchel Mane, but the closest thing to Tuchel Mane is Rodri. So even if you want to say, all right, Tuchel is gone, you can get Rodri, get 2, 3 years out of him, and you really wouldn't see that difference. You would see the physicality might not be there, the pace might be lacking or two with Rodri, but you're gonna be like, okay, at least the role is still being functioned properly, right? So I don't know. To me, to be honest with you, I just feel like say, hey, people forget with Valverde. The Super Cup against Atletico, last ditch tackle, sacrificing himself to Morata. The last ditch tackle got a red card, saved the game. Countless running, countless running, countless running, right? And then always a server. Like if you guys respected Vasquez, Vasquez mentality and attitude with skill. With skill. That's Valverde. Work hard. I don't remember if he scored in the finals, but man, he worked so hard for the captain badge, and we have never seen Valverde act like this before. Valverde has been there as long as since 2018 when Ronaldo left. Yeah, him, Vinny, and Courtois came the same time. So Valverde was there before Eden Hazard, right? And then 2022 Champions League final, the assist. And it's like you want him at right back, did the work at right back. You want him in the middle, did the work in the middle. He played right wing in the Champions League final and a couple other matches, did the job very well. How many times did Valverde's mistake led to a goal? Well, I think it was once, either this season or last season. Before then, couldn't count it. Could not count it. Valverde has been so consistent for us for so many years. And one mishap, you guys having like amnesia. You guys just forgot. No, man, this fan base. We as fans has been spoiled, and we as a fans has been taking so many things for granted, and we just don't take. It's just like, dope. These are human beings. Like these are just human beings, bro. Like these are just human beings. To me, I need Valverde at Real Madrid. Hat trick against Man City. Hat trick against Man City. He has what? Two Champions League, three titles, three La Ligas, two Copa del Reys. Yeah. When last time injured, very consistent, very always available. Always available. Never like always maintain his composure. Lost it once and you want to let him go. Anyways, um, my I don't know. I need Valverde. I need Tuchel Mane. I don't know where we go as a club. I don't think Jose Mourinho is fit to run this club, but we'll see. So I just want to cover that today. There'll be more episodes. There's more to come with this, with this club because there's always something happening. I'm gonna try to break down each event and what we do going forward in the coming episodes. This is the Jersey Shore podcast. Have a good one.